Hi, I'm Greg Corombos. My guest at this time is retired Israeli Brigadier General Elihu Ben-Onn. He's now a radio talk show host based in Jerusalem. And once again, Israeli voters have gone to the polls looking to choose a prime minister after a number of elections that were so close that neither incumbent Likud Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu or General Benny Gantz from the Blue and White Party could form a government. We have had another election on Monday, and while the results are still coming in, it appears Netanyahu is very close to being at the position where he could continue as prime minister and not have another election, but we don't know that for sure yet. So a lot to discuss here. General, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Hello from Jerusalem.
It's great to have you with us again. And, of course, the narrative here in the United States is a bit of a surprise that Netanyahu has done this well this time, because we hear in the media, of course, that he's facing corruption charges, and that was expected to mean that he didn't do as well this time around, but he's actually done better. Why do you think he's done better?
Well, this is a kind of a referendum. You know, it's third time election day in Israel in 1 year. We had the first elections in April last year, again in September, now in March. So in less than 12 months, we have 3 circles of election days. It's absolutely crazy in the Israeli public opinion. People are really tired from this process. We would like to go, elect, choose, and have a prime minister. But this time it's better for Prime Minister Netanyahu because he got more votes from the last time, that was, I remind you, in last September. So he's very close to get what he needs in order to form a government, a cabinet. He needs 61 votes out of 120. And now he's got almost 60. So he needs one more seat on the parliament, on the Knesset. And maybe he will get that because still there is 250,000 voters that the envelopes haven't been opened yet. And maybe when they open it, he will get the extra more seat he needs to form a government. So we still have to wait.
What is the strongest argument, you believe, for Netanyahu to stay as prime minister? What was his argument to remain in office? Is it national security and the threats from various neighbors, or are there other issues as well?
Well, again, always when you judge a leader, you, as a simple people in the society, you look through 3 angles. The first one is security. Our security is in the borders, in the terrorist attacks, in the war against the enemies. So people say that in the last 10 years it was better than it was used to be before. So that's the main first reason. The second one is, of course, economy. People feel better in that situation, that the economy is better, more people can fly overseas. You can buy sometimes a ticket from Tel Aviv to Paris for $50, which is very cheap, what they call the free open sky policy. And you can get a car easily in one hand, but it's difficult to buy an apartment in the other hand. So security and economy are the 2 main topics on the agenda of the gentleman or the lady who's going to vote. Netanyahu was the prime minister for the last 11 years. So part of the people say, that's enough. Give the chance to another one. And Netanyahu says, no, I can do 1 more 4 years at least. But the problem is now is with the court in March 17. Not far away from now, is going to be indictment in a court in Jerusalem for corruption allegations, and he has to defend himself. And people say, how can you be prime minister during the day? In the morning you have to go to court. So that was the main issue in this election, and the majority of the Israelis decided that it can do both. Can go to court and can be prime minister, and the Blue and White Party said you can't do it, but they didn't get enough votes to form the government. So we have to wait to see what will happen now.
General Ben-Onn, you mentioned the Blue and White Party, and the leader there, of course, is General Benny Gantz. 3 very close elections now, but it looks like, once again, he will not be the one who gets to form a government. Most Americans, I have a feeling, don't know a lot about General Gantz. So what are considered his strong points, and what are some of the arguments against him?
Well, he was our chief of staff of Israel Defense Forces only 5 years ago, and all his life he spent in the military. He was in the commander of a platoon, of brigade, of division, and of course chief of staff, very famous, very handsome, very good. And traditionally in Israel, if you were a general, the chief of staff like Yitzhak Rabin, like Ehud Barak, like other generals who became went to politics, they have the credit from the people that if you were the chief of staff, you can be also the leader. Benjamin Netanyahu, for example, was only a captain, not more than a captain, in a very good military unit when he was a young soldier, but not more than lieutenant and captain. And of course, general, lieutenant general is a higher position. So Benny Gantz is absolutely acceptable by the society as a good military leader, but he doesn't have any political experience, and that was part of his mistakes in the campaign, because the main argument that he mentioned that Netanyahu is not capable to continue because of the trial that is going to face soon. And he didn't explain enough to the public why he's better than him. And that's the reason that he lost this campaign only by 3 or 4 seats, not more than that. But that's enough for Netanyahu to be a candidate to form the government again soon when we know the final results. So, everybody was not born prime minister. Everybody was born as a baby, grew up to be a general or politician. And maybe in the future, Benny Gantz will be able to run again and win and get the support from the people. Now it seems to be that if we're taking this election as a referendum, the people of Israel, most of them, only 3 or 4 seats more than the other party, decided that in spite of the coming trial, they give their support to Benjamin Netanyahu. So that's the situation right now in Israel, waiting to see what will be the final results, what will happen with the court, and if the Supreme Court will interfere and said maybe you cannot be prime minister and in the morning in the courthouse. So we still have outcomes to come soon.
General Ben-Onn, almost out of time here, but you mentioned before that the Israeli people are pretty weary of these national elections now. They've had 3 of them in less than a year, but this really seems to be a situation where the country is deeply divided on Benjamin Netanyahu. So from the folks who that generally support blue and white, are they at the point now where if Netanyahu struggles to form a government, they'll be gung-ho for another election? Or are a lot of them at this point so weary of elections that I guess Netanyahu won, so give him a chance?
I think the most acceptable solution to this complicated political situation in Israel is to form a unity government, that Benjamin Netanyahu will be prime minister for 2 years, for the first 2 years, and Benny Gantz will replace him after another 2 years. We had such kind of a solution 35 years ago when Prime Minister Shimon Peres was the first time and Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir replaced him after 2 years. So we had a unity government like that between 84 to 88. Maybe this solution from the past can return this time, and they will stop the rivalry, and they will stop the hostility, the political hostility, and find the common ground to sit together and form a unity government will be blessed, I believe, by many, many Israelis.
Do you think that's likely to happen? Because that idea was brought up in previous elections, and neither side seemed all that interested in it. Do you feel like there's momentum towards that? Yeah,
after 3 times, you get tired. You want to finish this unbelievable campaign. I mean, it's too much. Come on, once, twice, third time. If you can't form a government, if it's too narrow, if it's not stable, offer your hand, find a solution, and go together to the negotiation table and make a decision. I believe that it will happen. If not, we will have a very narrow government by Benjamin Netanyahu, and maybe it will not hold for a long time, will not last for many months. So still, the best solution, to my opinion, is to have such kind of unity government and go forward for another 4 years.
We'll certainly be watching. We've got our own political machinations going on in the United States right now. General, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for calling me, and shalom from Jerusalem.
Thank you, sir, very much. Retired Israeli Brigadier General Elihu Ben-Onn is now a radio talk show host based in Jerusalem. I'm Greg Corombos reporting for Radio America.